World of Wrestling. Spotlight, The Big Dog Joshua Slayter and Supergirl Jessica Valero. Season 1, Beauty and the Big Dog. Episode 1, The Rookie. Poem 1, Last Night at NGPW. Sweaty underneath his sort of clean clothes, Joshua Slayter sighed and let out his woes. His fingers jittered on the wheel of his van, thanks to the contents of the now empty can that clinked in the cup holder as he pulled into the lot for the Orlando arena, where he'd finally get a shot. The previous night was an emotional farewell, as he left his old home for the WWL. NGPW was a great place to work, but it was nothing compared to WWL's perks. He'd be on TV, regionally at least, and he'd have enough money to eat like a beast. All this played on his mind despite the 9 hours straight he'd driven overnight. Caffeine would sustain him, or at least for now. He'd shower, then nap, then the crowds he'd wow. Security let him through with no problem at all, and he walked with his duffel bag down the long winding hall. His mind was preoccupied as he took the place in. It was impossible to hide his wide boyish grin. And as his eyes for the locker room did search, someone bumped into him and made him lurch. "Watch what you're doing," she said, irritated. "I'm sorry," Joshua said. "I should have waited. Can you tell me where the men's locker room is at?" "Boy, what is under that baseball hat? Do you know who I am? Did you pay your respects?" Josh thought for a moment, his mind perplexed. He almost didn't recognize her because his eyes were bleary. Then he thought of who she was, and the thought made him cheery. Miss Supergirl herself, Jessica Valero. "I'm sorry. My mind feels like it's jello. I drove here straight from my last indie event, and I thought you were injured until present." Jessica smiled and shook Josh's hand. "First time in the big leagues. Treasure it, man. You might one day be great, but this will always be your first. And I'd love nothing more than to stay and converse. But I have to attend a meeting down the hall. The men's locker room is just past that wall." Jessica pointed the way, and Joshua thanked her. He thought about much. His mind was a blur. Would this job work out and better his life? Could he stand with mega stars and put up a fight? Author's note: I have begun using text-to-speech in order to expedite the process of putting my stories into a form that I myself can enjoy and easily share with friends. This audio will be available in podcast form and on my YouTube channel. My more premium version of these stories will be animated comics that I am continuing to search for a distribution model for. If you'd like to support, I'd appreciate your prayers, and if you can, would appreciate your support in going to joshuadavidling.com and dropping a donation to help with production. God bless you and all his story warriors.